Welcome back to another Bloxham Virtual Gym Series session. Plan for today, we're back to a body maintenance session focusing particularly on the hip and lower back. Okay, so this is the session for today. Let's get into it. Okay, so to start the session you need to go and grab yourself a small ball. So I'm going to go grab myself a hockey ball. Okay, just to start with, place this one just above your Achilles tendon. Okay, so the lower half or the lower portion of your calf. All you're going to do, lift your body weight up, roll side to side across the ball 10 times. Okay, once you've done your 10 times, you're going to move the ball up to just below your knee, so the back of your knee, just the top of your calf area. Same again, from there, lift your body up, working side to side. If you do feel any tight spots, any kind of portions that feel particularly uncomfortable, focus on that area a little bit more. So I'm a bit tighter on the outside of my calf, so I'll just focus there 10 times and then swap legs. Once you've done that, okay, you're going to place the ball higher up again. So we're going to go this time to the bottom of your hamstring. Exactly the same as we did before. Lift your body off the floor, just work side to side 10 times. And then go up again. This time, top of your hamstring, just below your bum or your glutes. Exact same as before. 10 times. And make sure you do both sides. Okay, and once you've done your hamstring, just roll onto your front. This time working bottom of your quads, okay, top of your, just above your knee. So 10 times again. Try and find any tight areas. Focus on that area. Once you've done 10, higher up. Again, same as the hamstring, this time it's just going to be on the front, so up and around our hip. Body off the floor. 10 times. And then move on to the next part. So moving on now, place the ball underneath your glute. Okay, so lift yourself up. Place whichever side the ball is, so that foot's going to come up over your knee. From there, rolling around, trying to find any tight areas. Okay, so just focus on that area, sort of 10 times, side to side. Make sure you're working around your hips, trying to find those tighter areas. Should be uncomfortable but not painful. Make sure you do both sides and then we'll move on. Lower back next. Place the ball underneath your lower back. So make sure it's to the side of your spine. You're not trying to find any bony areas. Make sure the ball's always in contact with a fleshy area. Okay, so lifting your hips up 10 times side to side. Obviously, you control the pressure with this one, so the more body weight you allow to go into the ball, the harder that will feel. Okay, and then once you've done that, we'll move on to our stretches. Okay, so moving on to a hamstring stretch now. All you need is something to elevate your foot onto. So placing your foot up onto the chair for me. Making sure that this back leg stays straight and facing forwards. What you might see in some people is they compensate to make the stretch feel less intense and they'll turn their foot out slightly. So making sure everything's facing forwards. All you're going to do, lean over, okay, try and get your shoulders down to your knee. You should feel a nice stretch going down there through your hamstring. 30 seconds hold and then swap legs. Move on to the next stretch. So moving on to the calf stretch now for your hip flexor. All you're going to do, place your back foot up onto a chair. Okay, keeping your knee, back knee as close to the chair as possible, and your heel close to your bum. Okay, so this one should be slightly uncomfortable. Making sure your weight goes straight down through that back knee, staying as tall as possible. Try and make sure that your lower back doesn't bend too much or you're poking your tummy out, okay? Try and keep everything down in a straight line. From there, and you should feel a stretch in your hip flexor or your quad. Make sure you do both sides, 30-second hold, and then move on. So next stretch is just going to be a seated knee hug. All you're going to do, keep one leg straight, lift the other one over as far as you can. Okay. Try and hug your knee to your chest, 30 seconds. I'll show you what that looks like now from in front. So bringing this foot across as high as you can, try and hug your knee into your chest for 30 seconds, making sure you do both sides. So the next stretch is the piriformis stretch. Find yourself space against the wall, okay, so roughly 90 degrees at your knee. Place this other leg over the top of your knee. All you're going to do, apply some pressure on the inside of this knee, push it away from you. Okay, you should feel that stretch in and around your hip. So 30 seconds. If it starts to become comfortable, you can intensify it further. Just keep pressing from there. Make sure you do both sides. Okay, 30 seconds each side again. Okay, so moving on to some lower back exercises now. We're going to do the island cross first. So lead flat on your back, palms out facing down. All you're going to do from here, lift one leg up straight, try and reach it over, keeping both shoulders on the floor, come back and do the other side. There, keeping your shoulder down on the floor and then come back. So that's 10 each side. So on all fours now, cat-cow, all I want you to do, let your chest drop to the floor, okay, try and arch your back in, and then we're going to exaggerate the other way, okay, try and get your back as close to the ceiling as possible, almost imagine you're trying to tuck your tail between your legs, okay, and then we go back, and then back into that top position. Okay, 10 times, and then we're moving on. So from there, we're going to move on to child's pose. Some of you may have come across this in yoga, okay? All we're going to do, place your hands out in front of you. Try and push yourself, push your bum back over your heels. Try and push the floor away from you with your hands. Hopefully you'll feel a little stretch in your lower back. Come back to the starting position and then return. Trying to push yourself away from your hands. 10 times. Okay, so those 3 stretches are going to be done 3 times through, 10 times for each, and then we'll move on. Okay, so a little superset now for you. We're going to start with a lateral lunge and rotate. All you're going to do, keep facing one foot forwards. You're going to step the other one out. Take a nice big step, pointing it perpendicular to the other foot. Okay, from there, this back leg's going to stay straight. I'm going to bend this front knee and then rotate over towards this bent leg, trying to keep this back leg straight. What I want you to focus on, try and keep your belly from poking forwards. So you're going to try and stay in this neutral position rather than falling forwards. You're going to stay nice and tall, and that should open up this area here. You should feel a nice stretch down through there. So both sides, 10 times on each side, and then we're going to move on to some glute bridges. Again, focus being on your lower back this time. So all I want you to think about when you're doing your glute bridge, imagine you're going to peel your vertebrae off the floor one at a time. Okay, so what it should look like is starting from the bottom, you'll come up, nice and tall, and then back in reverse. Go again, and then back. So again, 10 times, 3 times through those 2 exercises, and then we'll move on. And then last superset to finish the session, 2 exercises. We're going to start with dead bugs. So lead on your back, keeping your back flat against the floor, okay? Imagine someone's about to punch you in the stomach. You're going to brace up into this dead bug position. From there, opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping your back pinned to the floor at all times, okay? You're going to go opposite arm, opposite leg. Don't let them touch the floor. Return, and then go again. 10 each side, and then move on. Last exercise, side lying leg raises, okay? So making sure that you are facing forwards. What we'll see in some people is they'll lean back slightly. Again, we're not going to work the muscle in the way that we want to. So making sure that your hips are directly facing forwards. From there, all you're going to do, lift your leg up and then return. Okay, squeeze, you should feel a squeeze in the outside of your glutes. What I want people to avoid is their leg coming in front of their body. Okay, so what we're seeing in some people is they come forwards. So just have a look, make sure that your foot stays directly above the other foot that's staying on the floor. So 10 each side for this one. 3 times through those 2 exercises, and then you're done for today.